What's going on, muscle monsters? Align Gonzalez here, and today I want to talk about cheat reps, particularly for building bigger biceps. And the reason I want to talk about cheat reps for biceps is because biceps are the one muscle or one of the muscles that we find hardest to overload directly. Okay, there's going to come a point where you're no longer able to curl more weight with strict form. Right? And so a lot of people will say, yeah, but as long as we're progressing in our pulling movements, our biceps will grow. And this is true to a degree. However, the progression in your pulling movements will also come to a halt or slow down at some point. Okay? And that's going to make it very difficult to continue to build bigger biceps. Okay? And so I also want to say that I don't believe you should only cheat when you're performing bicep curls. I think that we should use cheat curls as a tool, an additional tool in our toolbox for further stimulating them. Okay? And then one more thing before I actually get into the video is my book, The Bigger Arms Blueprint, is now available on Amazon for, get this, 99 cents. The price will eventually go up, but right now it's a new book. I need reviews, and so I'm making sure that anyone can access it. All right? So without further ado, let's jump into the video. First, let's talk about the anatomy of a rep. Okay, we have the concentric. In a curl, it's where we are bringing the weight up against gravity. We have the isometric, which is at the top where your biceps are flexed. The eccentric, or the negative, where you're bringing the weight down, and then another isometric at the bottom when you are completely lengthened. And so out of those contractions, the concentric and eccentric are the most important, and some would argue that the eccentric is just as important as the concentric, and this is something that I believe. Okay, the problem is that most people focus on just the concentric and not the eccentric. All right, this doesn't mean you have to bring the weight down slowly. The only thing it means is that we should control the weight on the negative. Okay, so as long as the weight is under control, you are going to get the benefits of the eccentric portion of the lift. So now let's jump into my case for cheating on your bicep curls for bigger biceps. Okay. Let's say your 1 rep max on a strict barbell curl is 95 pounds, okay? This means that if you were to cheat the weight up, you'd be able to get that same 95 pounds for, say, for example, 5 to 6 reps. Now, a lot of you guys are going to say, well, cheat reps are dangerous, and this is true, but it's all about context, okay? There's a big difference between bad form, right, and using a little bit of body English, right, and understanding your body and having a strong enough core to perform this exercise safely. Okay, so when you are swinging the weight up, bending backwards just to get the weight up, you can potentially injure yourself. In fact, in most cases, you probably will. However, if you're using a bit of momentum, right, nothing excessive, just to help get the weight up to the starting point or to the top of the concentric, then you're probably not going to hurt yourself. I also want to say, before I go any further, that this is not for anyone who's just getting into lifting. Okay? In the beginning, your biceps are going to grow just from your pull-ups, bent rows, and things of that nature. And then after that, once you start adding volume through isolation work like bicep curls, you're still going to be able to progress and grow. This is for someone who's been training for a while and can no longer progress on any kind of isolation work for their biceps, be it through weight or through reps or both. Okay? So let's just get that clear. Now back to my point. All right? When you've got 95 pounds up here, a weight that you're typically able to do for 1 rep, now you're able to do for 5. And although you are using a bit of momentum to get it up, because the load is so heavy, you still are using your biceps to a good degree. Now, where the magic really happens is on the eccentric, when you're lowering the weight down. Because now you are overloading on the eccentric using a load that's heavier than anything you'd be able to use otherwise. Okay, so we are in a way increasing the intensity, we're increasing the workload, and believe it or not, this is actually going to make you stronger. So not only are you going to build muscle because you're overloading the muscle with a heavier weight than you're used to, right? But when you go back to your strict curls with 70s, it's going to feel a bit lighter and you might be able to crank out a few more reps, which will spill over in being able to maybe do 75 or even 80 pounds and so on and so forth. You can see how it becomes a cycle for increasing strength, so getting stronger in the barbell curl in general, but also for overloading the muscle when you're at a point where otherwise you wouldn't be able to. So that's pretty much it, guys. Just a quick technique that you can start implementing if you're no longer able to progress on your bicep movements. Make sure, if you're interested, to grab the Big Arms Blueprint. I will link it down below. If you haven't already, make sure to download my free arm program. I will also link that below. Just go to that link, put your name and your email address. You'll get instant access to that, and I will talk to you in the next one. Peace.